Chelsea Club World Cup player rankings video. This is being recorded before the final. This is Sunday daytime that I'm recording this. And the final, of course, is Sunday evening. I'm going on a holiday tomorrow. So this is probably going to come out on around Wednesday, maybe Friday. One of the two. I'm even going to upload this one Wednesday, and I've got a different video for Friday, or vice versa. So, quick disclaimer and quick ask for everybody here. Drop a like on the video and tell me which player you think needs to be moved up or down in this ranking based on whatever happens in the final. Because, of course, whenever you see this, you would have seen what happens in the final. So I want to know which of these change based on their performance in the cup final. Right, without further ado, let's just get started and really sort of just get into this. We're going to try and put a few people into haven't seen enough now. So Anselmino, I think that's quite obvious. Sarr, we saw briefly in one of the games at right back. Slonina, of course, we haven't seen. Asugo, I think you have to put him in that category because he's come off the bench, I think, twice. Now, Santos, his one game that he played where he's one full game, it wasn't Benfica, was it Palmeiras? He was actually one of my favourite players on the pitch. I thought he's absolutely brilliant. So would that be enough to put him in good? I'm going to ask you that as a question. I'm going to put him at the top of sort of haven't seen enough purely because I think if you'd have seen more from him, and again, this is why this could be a huge one for you guys in the comments, because if he starts the final tonight, which I've said in some of the preview videos that maybe he could as like a reason to go three in midfield if Lavia is not there, maybe you go Caicedo, Santos, Enzo. Maybe he has another good performance and he earns that good status. So do let me know if he's one of the ones that you would change. But purely based on the fact that we've not seen too much of him other than that game against Palmeiras, he is going to be in haven't seen enough. Achimpong, again, had one really good game, but we're going to have to put him in haven't seen enough. This is just for this tournament, by the way. Penders, of course, in there, hasn't played. Jorgensen, I think we had one game from Jorgensen, was it, at the back end? Was it one game against... I can't even think. Tunis, was it Tunis played one game? Tosin will leave here. Chalobah was seen enough. Fofana wasn't even here, so we'll just get rid. Sanchez, fine. George, I haven't seen enough. Have we seen George at all? Part of me doesn't. I can't really remember if George has come off the bench at all. I think he did in one of the earlier games, actually. But yeah, that's an interesting one. KDH is a tough one. KDH is a tough one. Because, again, he's obviously had less minutes than someone like Andre Santos, but we've seen him a little bit more. And I think it's what you sort of think their role is. I think for his role, we've seen enough because I think we know that he's not going to be starting every game and we know what he offers from the bench. Maybe a little bit like Asugo, so maybe that's harsh because we've seen Asugo in what I think his role will be this year in terms of coming from the bench and sort of just being that. He comes on for the last 10, 15 minutes and helps see out the game. But we're going to leave that. Jackson... Badiashile, Guiu, haven't really seen. Let's leave it there for the haven't seen enough. Now, again, this isn't to say, like, I haven't done the minutes. So Santos, because he does have that one game under his belt against Palmeiras, maybe it is harsh having him in here. But I just think it's either good or haven't seen enough. It's not going to be met or poor because when he has played, he's been good. So, again, I'm going to leave that one up to you guys. What do you think he should be in? Nominee, by the way, this category is for like the player of the tournament. So we'll go into that. Who do I think? Let's go from the top and let's just move them into sort of where I think they've been. Tosin, I think, has been very good this tournament. I think every time he's played, very, very tidy. Him and Chalobah in the semi-final, really, really tight at the back. Tosin's been really, really good for the back end of the season as well. I just think really tidy on the ball, really good entry passes from that central centre-back position. Good in the air, sort of just really solid. He's been really solid. So I think, again, Chalobah, I think deserves to go in there as well. Again, a lot based off that Fluminense game, but even in the other games that he's played, he's been solid. And I just think the aggression that he's shown, again, in that role to be on the front foot, he deserved to go in good. Sanchez, there's been a few in this tournament. There's been like a few questionable chances, I think. Was there one against Flamengo that I was a bit confused as to how he didn't get? And there's also been a few mistakes that he's made that hasn't led to a goal, but they've still been a bit off. However, he's also made some big saves at times. I'm kind of between... I'm going to say here, I'm going to just put him as meh, because I do think that he's had quite a few unpunished mistakes. This could also be one that changes on the final night because I do think he'll start in goal, and I actually want him to start in goal because I think his shot stopping could even be key in this game against PSG. So we're going to put him there. KDH, like I said, for what his role sort of entails, I think he has to go in good. Purely off of the fact that he offers sort of that from the bench, that bit of energy from the bench. He comes in, plug and play, knows the system, puts himself about. And yes, we've seen less of him than Santos, for example, in terms of minute. We actually might not have done because I think KDH did actually start one of the games against Tunis. So KDH for me goes in good. Madueke, I'm going to put him in meh/poor because I think the game against Fluminense when he came on, it didn't matter, but he just really didn't look up for it because he obviously knew his move was happening. Thought he was okay off the bench against Palmeiras, actually looked fairly threatening. I think first game of the tournament, I think he looked really off it. He just didn't look himself. And then apart from that, we've not seen him as much either. So I'm going to put him in like meh/poor. And Nkunku, I think, has actually been really good this tournament. I think trying a lot harder. He's had a few games now where he started. He's been playing in the pockets, coming inside from the wing. He's had a little bit more of the ball in his own sort of positions. Like I say, the work rate off the ball has been much better. So I'm going to put him in good. I think, yes, he could have had a few more he had a few good chances to score, which he's sort of spurned. But I do think that he deserves to be in good based on what he's done this tournament. And Maresca's clearly, yes, it could be to do with how Madueke's situation has been, and he needs to field somebody in those positions. But I do think it's showing that Nkunku has improved to the point where he's now coming into his own and a little bit more, not quite to the same level, but Maresca is rewarding that he's working a little bit harder. So I think he deserves to be in good. Colwill, again, just solid. I think he deserves to be alongside the other central defenders. He's been good. Delap, I think, has been fairly good. I wouldn't say he's been meh. I think he scored his goal. Very nice. He's put himself about up front, had a few good chances, had a few sort of good... Again, he got an assist as well on his debut. So I think that he deserves to be in good. Jackson has to go in meh/poor because, again, he's got the red card, which was a really bad one. And I think even in the last game, he came on, looked up for it, looked like he was putting himself about and sort of up to try and prove himself, and then got a chance and kind of just snapped at it and didn't really take his time. A lot of, like, Palmer looked really, really frustrated that he didn't pass it. So I am going to put him in here. Again, the red card, quite a big part to do with that. Enzo is a tough one because I think he could even be nominee because I just think he's been so good. So we're going to put him in nominee, I think. Yeah. James, I think, just goes into good. I think he's been good when he's played. Whether he plays tonight, we'll see. He's saying that he's not injured. And again, this might be confusing because I'm now referring to the game as tonight, even though this is going to come out on Wednesday. So I will just keep trying to remind that because that slipped my mind and I just sort of referenced it there. Neto has to go into nominee for me. I think he's been sensational. Work rate, goals, like just threatening, like carries. I think he's got the most take-ons in the competition. All through one of the hardest times for him as well with the whole Diogo Jota situation, which he was quite close with him and his family, I believe. So I think that's also just another testament to his character. So yeah, really, really happy for Pedro Neto in that sense. And I think he deserves to be right up there in the nominees. Badiashile. I think in the game, when he started alongside Colwill, I thought he was really good. Apart from that, I can't remember too much, which is why it feels bad. Do you know what? I'm going to move Santos up to good because I'm going to have Badiashile in good. And purely because the one game that I remember of Badiashile was good, and I don't remember too much of him being too bad in this competition, which is similar to my argument for Santos, which is why I'm going to have him up in good. So again, hopefully in the comments, maybe you've already let me know because I put him into haven't seen enough at the start. Let me know where you stand on Santos because he's one that I'm really intrigued by. At the same time, let me know on somebody like Liam Delap because I'm intrigued whether people have seen enough with him or whether they haven't seen enough and they've been a bit disappointed, expecting maybe a little bit more since his goal. And of course, he got suspended. So I'd be interested to see what you guys think about him. Gusto. I know this is gonna be one that sort of a lot of people don't know a lot of people will want him in meh/poor. I think he's had some poor games again in this tournament, which is why I'm going to put him in meh/poor. But I do want to sort of preface it by saying I don't think he was anywhere near as bad against Palmeiras as people made out. And I also think he was actually very good against Fluminense. So both of those games, I thought he was good. However, in the group stages, and I think it was the Benfica game as well, I think he wasn't great in that game, in those games. I mean, he came on and gave the penalty away, which I think was harsh, by the way, in the Benfica game when he came and gave that penalty. I think that has to play into it. He's had a lot of mistakes. The fans have been on his back. I think that's, for me, he's more meh than he is poor. I think if I had to shuffle everything down. Because I think he has had a few good games since, and some people may disagree because their bar for him may just not be there anymore. I think some people are now judging him on every single action, whereas I think he does bring quite a lot of good to the team as well in terms of mobility, work rate, the counter press. I think there's a lot that he helps, but we'll put him as meh. Lavia, again, whenever he's played, he's been really good. Palmer, I think, again, the same. Caicedo, again, just has to be a nominee, doesn't he? Cucurella in nominee, João Pedro in good. That's what I'm going to do for this thing. João Pedro coming in, getting his 2 goals. Again, this could change tonight because maybe if he's a big part of the game tonight, same with Cole, could they both move into nominee? Possibly, because I think they've had solid tournaments. Maybe if we was to move Cole like this, but this isn't really in order. But these 4 for me have been like the standouts of this tournament because I think Cucurella, I mention it every time, I think he's just the tactical versatility that he gives you because he can operate at all heights and depths on that left-hand side, inside, outside, left centre-back, left centre-mid, left wing if you need him to on the overlap, can attack the box, score goals, can really be that presence for Chelsea. And I think him and Enzo have just been so good together in those rotations that we're starting to see between the two of them now, that I think that they both deserve to be in there because of that. And again, Enzo scored an important goal in this competition. He's got assists as well. I think he's got the most assists in the competition. So he's got to be up there. And just his leadership and everything that comes with it. Again, massive reason. And Caicedo's Caicedo. I think his level is just so superior to so many midfielders in world football. And I really hope that you guys can comment on this now after watching the game on Sunday night. Again, tonight for me. That Caicedo deserves to be in here based again off another truly amazing performance, because of all the people that I'm looking forward to seeing tonight against PSG, it is Caicedo, because I just think that it's these sort of games where teams, players, but more so fans of all other teams, not Chelsea fans, all other fans can look and watch this game and think, wow, okay, Caicedo he's serious. He's a serious player. Because I don't think he gets the praise that he deserves at all. I think that Chelsea fans do give him it, but I think he needs to really show himself on that next stage in a final, in the Champions League next year, to really cement himself as one of the best midfielders in the world. For me, can become that best defensive midfielder in the world, because I just think he's got absolutely everything in his game, and he's just so just elite in that sense of the word. So that's the 4 nominees. What I would like you to let me know is, who would you change on this list? Would you move, if you could move 3 players, which 3 would you move? If you don't want to move 3, obviously you can do less. If you think it's bang on, then just let me know and just say, yeah, spot on. But then secondly, who is your winner from these 4 nominees? Now, I'll let you say, if you think, for example, I don't know, if you think João Pedro scores a hat-trick against PSG and he becomes you think he should be named the Club World Cup Chelsea Player of the Tournament, even for like fewer games, but because of his impact in the time that he was there, then just let me know in the comments and say, yeah, I want to move João Pedro from good to nominee, and then he is my player of the tournament. Let me know that. If not, let me know one of these 4 that's already in the nominations, who you think should win it. And then at the end, I'm going to try and we'll sort of tot it up and let's see who actually comes away as the Club World Cup Chelsea player of the tournament. I'm going to predict that it's going to be Neto, because I just think he's been so good throughout. But again, it could be literally any one of these based on that final appearance. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Hopefully this content is keeping it going for the week, keeping up momentum, striving, because the support on the channel has been unbelievable the last few weeks. So I just wanted to pre-record a few bits before I go away so I can chill and relax, have 5 days off before coming back and working extremely hard again with daily streams, daily videos, and continue trying to grow this channel. So thank you again, everybody, for the support. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one.